I was offered a deal of 10 million Kenyan shillings out there. And let me tell you one secret, guys. The streets are very rough and tough, especially if you're not smart out there. Guess what? I was about to lose my 100,000 Kenyan shillings. Right? It's only that I was a little bit smart to tell, hey, this was a scam out there. Anyway, this is how the story went. But before I share that story, by the way, that story is quite interesting. You should rather watch this video to the end for you to understand and not fall a trap that is out there. All right, do this. Doesn't cost you anything. Down below there, hit that magical button written, subscribe, and like this video. Yeah, I'm literally waiting you to. Yeah, exactly. Thank you. Now, this is how the deal went. Anyway, I received a call just like I do at all the time from my clients. I received a call and someone telling me, hey, how good, Joseph? I said, hello too. My name is, let me just reserve the name. And then he told me, I just love what you do on your channels. You're amazing. You're good at my finance. You're good at investing. You're good at businesses and what have you. Anyway, that's not the point. The point is this, I'm your follower, I'm your subscriber, and we love your job. And I was like, okay, who is we? Okay, fine. The point is this. Now, I'm calling you to actually offer you a deal that is out there. This is quite an interesting deal, may not be the deal that you usually receive out there. And I was like, okay, I'm listening. And the guy told me, I do have a partner. My partner and I are actually considering putting up a meat processing industry in this country. I am in Kenya as I call you right now, but my partner is in US. And the partner, we are looking forward into starting with a capital of 10 million Kenyan shillings. And we are looking forward to expanding this business close to 50 million Kenyan shillings. But we want to do the piloting first with 10 million Kenyan shillings. And I was like, okay, fine, sure. This sounds like a good deal. Then I was a little bit keen. And the guy told me how. Now, this is the deal that we want to have with you. We would like to bring you on board in this company that we want to start. Since you know lots about businesses, finance, and what have you, we would like to offer you a position of CFO, that is Chief Finance Officer. And I know probably you may not go for the deal of being employed, but would like to get you on board on a contractory basis. And I was like, wow, that sounds good. That's quite a good packaging. And I was like, fine, go on. And he told me, like, okay, this is how the deal goes. Since I've told you that we like to start with a piloting of 10 million Kenyan shillings, and I remember you made a video about there is a way you can do animal fattening and whatever. Actually, that idea caught us and it's quite an amazing. And by the way, guys, you can check that video. There's a time I shared that video saying, hey, you can start a animal fattening, sort of a campaign whereby you're selling to the meat processing industry. You can as well have yourself a grill, a butchery, and what have you. That's quite a good business, by the way. And he told me like, hey, we watched that video and we were very much impressed. Personally, I've ever lived in the US for the last 10 years. That's what he was telling me. And I came back home to be the kind of the ground guy. So I am here and actually considered you to actually bring you on board so that at least we can go ahead and actualize this company. And I said, okay, fine, bring it on me. Tell me exactly what you like me to do and for that. And he told me what will happen is that I'm going to connect you with my guy from the US and he's going to give you a call at around, let's talk of at around, they give you kind of weird hours so that at least to make it look like, hey, they're the US and all those kind of things. You can just imagine that, okay? And then he told me like in 4 hours time from now at around 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. you receive a call from them and you're going to have an engagement about this business. And I said, fine, no problem. Thank you. And he hung the call and he said he's gonna share my contact with that individual. And it's true, my contact was shared and I received a call at around 9 p.m. And the call came in and the call was actually starting with +1 something or sort. And I sort of knew now this is an American number. Okay, I received the call. And then we had a conversation and it's also quite weird because exactly how we would receive a call from somebody who is overseas, there is always that waiting time. They say, hello, I can hear you. See, that's waiting time or something of sort. You get the thing? It was exactly like that. And the guy told me, hey, you know what, Joseph? I was given by your number by, let me reserve the name. And we would like to give you an offer starting a company about meat processing. And we would like to start with a piloting of 10 million Kenyan shillings. I bet that is around like $7,000 or something of sort. But we are looking forward into expanding this company to about 50 million Kenyan shillings. And by the way, that guy who called you early in the day or during the day, that is actually my groundman. That's a guy that you'll be having a conversation with. I would like you guys to meet and have a conversation on how you can actualize that business. And that business, we are planning to start it at around Maralal, or we are also having another idea of starting in Kitale and another. They give you like those weird places and something also. And I said, that's okay. Otherwise, we are thinking about the Laikipia. And I said, no problem. And he told me, now, this is the point. We would like to incorporate you into our business or into our company, and we would like to offer you a position of the CFO. I bet that was shared with you. I said, yeah, that's what he told me. And again, we do not know exactly if you would like to go as an employee or you would like us to go on a contractory basis, meaning that you get paid according to the what you produce out there. And I said, I think latter will do good for me because I don't like being employed or something of sort. They said, no problem. But now, the thing is this. We love your job because we have seen what you usually do on your social media. But the point is this, is that we would love to also have other people, but we are considering you. But this position is actually competitively. And we're looking forward into paying a salary close to 2,000 USD or 3,000 USD, depends on the performance of the company. If you were to convert that into our shillings, that would make it around 300,000 to 400,000. That's close to $500,000 bob a month. I mean, seriously, that's a good amount of money, all right? So first of all, you see, what they do is that they package that thing. They first of all talk about how much you're gonna make before they tell you what is required of you to do. And I was like, okay. Now you're telling us, or you're telling me that you'd like to start a company with 10 million Kenyan shillings, all right? 10 million Kenyan shillings. And you're telling me you're looking forward to paying me close to 400,000 a month. And this business has not actually started. I mean, okay, fine. I say, fine. You see, when I realized something might be fishy in this business, and I said, okay, what is it required of me as of now? And he told, that's a very good question. And what you're supposed to do as of now, this position, just like I told you, is a competitive one. You need to bid this job. And again, we can assure you, you're going to win it. But for now, the business requires, or the position requires you to set aside your 100,000 Kenyan shillings. You see, we're bringing the entire 10 million for you. We are investing. But because you are actually becoming the CFO, we would like you also to be a partner to our business. We would like you to put on your 100,000 Kenyan shillings. You put on your 100,000 Kenyan shillings, and we bring other things like the machineries, the meat processing, the coolants, and what have you. You're only bringing the 100 Kenyan shillings. This is just to show what we call commitment. All right, this is just for commitment. Okay, and I was like, okay, can you just imagine this? The two guys are actually pulling a resources close to 10 million shillings. They only require me to bring on board 100,000 Kenyan shillings for the commitment purposes, to show how serious I am. And again, I'll be entitled to a salary of 400,000 Kenyan shillings. At that particular point, I knew this one might be fishy. I need to spread my tentacles, and if they want us to play the game, I'm good at this. We hunt you guys and we understand you. So I said, now this might be the game. Let's play it. Okay? And I was like, okay, fine, no problem. The 100,000 Kenyan shillings is not an issue. So what am I required to do? And I was waiting them to tell me to wire the money. And they didn't tell me that. Guess what they told me? They told me, hey, guess what? We would like to plan a meeting with that guy who is in Kenya, so that you'd meet, and don't come with money, by the way. First of all, it's good you meet with these guys. And again, what you're going to be discussing at that particular point, it's about the deal, how we're going to offer this deal about this investment. And I said, no problem with that. So they told me, hey, the guy will actually give you a call and you're going to go ahead and have the conversation. I said, no problem. So the guy called me again and he told me, let's meet in Nairobi, a certain place. I will reserve the name and then we can have the conversation. And it would actually be reason as to why we're actually asking for the 100,000 Kenyan shillings. And we're going to also show you our account so that at least you see we are actually committed to actually starting this business. And guess what I did? This is what you're supposed to always do. I told the guy, okay, no problem. We can meet maybe, let's say, kesho kutwa, and we can meet at that particular place and we can have the coffee and we can go ahead and have the deal. But this is how I do my things. I told them, hey, I'm going to bring on board my lawyer. I do have a lawyer. I'm going to bring my lawyer on board because sometimes when I engage on this kind of a deal, there must be a written document whereby it shows it's true. You've said that you're going to pay me this 400,000 Kenyan shillings. I'm going to put my 100 G's on that business. And again, I'm going to go ahead and offer get that position of CFO in that given company. And I asked them, do you have all the documentation about this company? Have you acquired for the CR2? All those, is it a limited company? What is it? All those kind of a documentation. I would like you to have them with me because my lawyer understands very well this information and we're going to go ahead and dissect the issue and all those kind of things. Like, for me, I did just go behind the door. I said, I'm going to show up with my lawyer. And it's true, I do have. I can just contact them and bring them on board and we can have a conversation about this and see the actuality on this. And again, we can go ahead into these companies or the places where they usually offer this registration. Like, whatever I'm doing is that I'm trying to show them, hey, guess what, guys? I'm not as simple as you guys think. And guess what the guy said? Hey, No problem. But what we can do is, again, if you don't feel comfortable starting with this 100,000 Kenyan shillings, how about maybe perhaps you send the half of the money, and then the half of the money we can actually do so once we meet physically. And at that particular point, I told him, no, that is not how the business work. I come there, you come with your ID, I come with my ID, you come with your lawyer. If you have a lawyer, I come with my lawyer. We dissect the issues and all those kind of things. And guess what happens? The guy told me, no problem. I'm going to give you a call in a 1 hour's time, confirm the meeting location and confirm the presence of the availability of my lawyer, and I'm going to give you a call. And guess what? The guy just disappeared. Up to making of this video, I haven't received any call. And let me tell you one secret. One thing I realized is that the number that called me with +1, it was actually... And guess what? These numbers can actually be bought. It can be called by somebody who is in Kenya and having that number +1, and you think the guy is calling you from America or something of sort. I contacted my IT guy and told me, hey, guess what? That is actually a bot number. It is not like actually like a real number or something of sort. I had some guys whom I had to confirm with them from the US, and I told them, hey, you know what, guys? Can you check for me if that number exists, whether it's an American number? They say we cannot be able to actually see that specific number. That's not even an American number, actually. Yes, looks like, but it is not. And that's the time I knew, were it not for me being smart out there, I'm telling you, being Kuoshoa is actually real. Now, the point is this of making this video. Be very careful out there. Just because the number calls you, it's quite strange. You think like you're receiving a call from the US and what overseas and what have you. They offer you a very good deal and what have you. Actually, they give you pricing or how much they're gonna pay you in terms of dollars, and there you are, controlled by greed, and you want to make a lot of money. That is how people lose money. For example, if you're just unlike an average individual out there, committing my 100,000 and get 400 G's at the end of the month, this sounds like a good deal, but it wasn't. That was actually a scam out there. Be very careful, and be very, very careful. Actually, these people are real out there. Before you actually receive any number, before you receive any call out there, be very careful, be smart. Do not make any deals over the phone. Meet these people physically. And if you were to meet them physically, always make sure that you are accompanied. Even if you do not have the capacity to provide a lawyer, always make sure that you're accompanied with security sort of a guys, because you never know how this can actually turn to. It can turn to be an ugly deal, and you can get yourself at the losing end. Be very careful, guys, because outside there, people are actually scamming people and are telling people, do this for you to get this. One thing, don't be controlled by greed. Number two, make sure that at least you do your due diligence. Don't rush the things. I always tell people there is nothing emergency when it comes to investment. Take your time and understand thing. It takes time and it takes process. When somebody promises you 400,000 returns on a very new starting company, all right? I mean, okay, I'm not saying it's not possible, but again, honestly speaking, we've been starting businesses and what have you. But if you promise somebody this amount of money, this is quite outrageous out there. Be very careful, guys, and let you not be scammed. For now, it's a goodbye, but don't forget. Anyway, back to our normal conversations about businesses. If you would like to get myself in terms of conversation and consultation, take my number from my description of this specific video. Give me a call, and again, make sure that you can as well grab my booklets about investments, real investments and real businesses and what have you. Give me a call and let's get started. A copy only goes for 280 Kenyan shillings. For now, it's a goodbye, and see you in the next one.